Hello, this is me again, and let's go to the next session. The next principle, a principle which operates in life, and it operates in marketing, and it operates in business, and it operates with everything. You need to learn this principle, and the principle, like just about all principles I tell you, have not been developed by me. I didn't come up with this stuff. I wish I had, kind of, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Like the law of gravity. It was there already before Newton said so. He just observed it and wrote it down. So do I things with, well, actually, I'm a second-hand person. You and me now use the law of gravity in order to calculate things and to not to fall down the stairs and all those type of things. The rocket science use it to fly to the moon. And I use most of the principle that way. Most of them are second-hand. And as I told you at the beginning, I experienced with them. I work them. I use them. And then I go, this works. And then, you bang your head against the wall. It doesn't quite work, usually because you didn't quite use it the right way. So here's a principle called the ARC triangle. It was developed by Mr. Hubbard, the person who wrote the Dianetics book. In any case, the A stands for affinity. Affinity means the liking or the disliking. As more as you like, as higher the affinity. Love, willing to hug. As more as you dislike, affinity very low, and you don't want to be in the same room with that person. In fact, you don't want to be on the same planet with that person. That's called low affinity, hate, and all those type of things. All right, so we have affinity. Now, the other one is reality. Reality. Reality could also be called agreement or disagreement. High reality is agreement. Low reality is disagreement. If you and me agree on something, then we have high reality. This is a marker, a black magic marker. Most likely we will all agree on it. If I would call it a pen or a pencil, we would already have some disagreement. You would realize that, well, it is a writing equipment, but Helmut, you're mislabeling it. You see what I'm saying? It could be as little as sometimes on a house. I call it a mansion or a bungalow. You call it a house or an apartment or a shack, like something not so great. So you see, there could be like some agreement, but not complete agreement. And there could be total disagreement. It is possible that throughout this seminar, there are a few things you have total disagreement with. In fact, if that is so, for all purpose, be happy. Because it means if you change to the way we're doing it, things will go quite high. In fact, there is no doubt about, even though I told you that what's true for you is true for you, if there is a tremendous amount of disagreement with what I say, to that degree, your life will be somewhere along the line difficult, probably not make as much money as you want to make, and most importantly, overall, you'll be like relatively unhappy. Okay? And that's just all there is to it. Never seen a happy person who distrusts everybody. It doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. Don't fool yourself. If you distrust people, then you will most likely be unhappy. At the same token, it's not possible any other way. You can only be happy by trusting people. In fact, it was on my last trip through Bombay when a person explained to me that he was asking some other very successful business person who had lots of people working for him and did all the work for him, and he let loose of like controlling it, like a family-controlled business. You understand? And which is very common in India, as you probably know. Family controls the business, and they must do everything, writing the check, making every little tiny decision, blah, blah, blah. Maybe even every email goes through, them and all that type of stuff. And this one business person asked this other person who didn't do all those things. And he says, well, how do you trust people? And this successful business person said, oh, that's easy. Just trust him. Or actually the question was something like, how do you find trustful people? I guess that was the question. And the other person said, oh, just trust them, that's easy. Yes, so anyway, there may be some agreements and disagreements. I think we got that. That means reality, high reality, low reality. Have you noticed that when reality is high, agreement is high, there'll be more affinity? Have you noticed that? Yeah? Have you noticed that it is very difficult to like and love somebody who you have lots of disagreement with? Absolutely. All right? So, what brings about agreement or disagreement for that match? Communication. Communication. Okay? It's not possible to like or dislike somebody without having ever had any communication with. Now, even if you just heard about him, that's still communication. About him. You understand? And remember, that's on a movie. A girl who falls in love with a movie star, it's a one-sided type of communication, but there is a communication. There's the picture coming down to her, and she goes, oh my God, I'm in love with that guy. You see my point? So, this principle, I'm telling you, it is so powerful in your personal life and in your business life, it isn't even real. Let me talk about, we said, if you communicate a lot to a person, you will find out that you have a lot in common. Or you'll find out you have nothing in common, so you can separate. Fine. Next, so to say. Marketing is communication. Marketing is communication. If you market to people over and over again a lot, communicate to them, be that sending them a video, a letter, a phone call, a door on the knock, a postcard, a television ad, any type of marketing out there will be a form of communication. And one of two things will happen. You'll catch the guy's reality, agreement, or you don't. If you catch it, which is why you need to communicate to thousands and thousands, to as many prospects you possibly have, because no matter what you do, there'll be some agreeing with you and some will not, just like with boy and girl. Not every girl will agree with every boy. That's just how it goes. That's why there's some of us, husband and wife finding each other and working together. And what happens when we usually meet each other, young boy, young girl? We talk a lot. We talk a lot. Maybe garbage. Usually garbage. But good garbage. And we talk and we talk and we're in love and we're like, oh my God. And then what happens 20 years later? All of a sudden, slowly over time, the husband doesn't feel like telling his wife everything about the business. She's not interested in knowing everything about his business. He's not interested in knowing what she did at home or whatever business and activity she does. And the communication kind of boils down to, what's for dinner? Potatoes. Okay. When is dinner? At 7. Okay. That's what the communication boils down to. And then you wonder why there's no more sparks flying in your love life. Then you wonder why the marriage got stale. You stopped communicating. You see, you didn't do what you did do 20 years ago. My wife and me communicate daily. For hours. Usually in the bathroom. In the bathroom, in the bathtub. And we talk and we talk. Yes, lots of it is garbage. Sometimes we get on our nerves because I say something to her. I have told her already 20 times. And every so often, she kind of says, honey, I have heard that. Oh, okay. Oh, but you're always telling me stories. I have heard 100 times also. Oh, okay. But you know what? We don't stop communicating. Why? Because we know this principle. And it becomes natural because we're communicating. We don't do this with force and, must communicate because we know this principle, otherwise we're going to fall out of love. No, it becomes beautiful and normal. And we sit there and talk about our neighbors and we talk about our staff members and we talk about things we have seen on the train or in the airplane and we trash people. We do all kinds of stuff everyone else does. Communicating. And that's what you need to do in marketing. You know what, for all purpose, ladies and gentlemen listening to this video, don't do what I'm just telling you to do, but you could do. Just drop it all, go. You know everything there is to know about marketing with just that. There's nothing more to know. You must communicating to your prospective clients over and over again. Now, that I told you that you know everything, I'm telling you you don't know everything, so keep listening, will you? Okay, so when you communicate to people, to your prospects, you create reality. Some of them you won't. Fine. You won't create reality then anyway. But even there, if they're disagreeing today, they may be agreeing tomorrow. You may be disagreeing with me on this video or on other videos with a bunch of little things. As you keep, however, working, you might realize, not so bad. And you become more agreement because you, and as I will show you down the road, you'll be communicating many topics to your prospective clients as well as to your existing clients, which have nothing to do with your product.